Wow, that one went fast. Usually I have to sit here for a little while it connects. Good evening, folks. Welcome to the book war, and I'm just gonna sit here and wait for some folks because your Instagram is telling our followers that we are there, and we're gonna just have Hattie pop in here real quick. There we go. Great. Oh, there we go. We got it.
Hello.
Hello. How are you tonight, sis?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am okay. I'm okay. It was a day. Yeah, it's been a busy weekend, and it was a bit of a day, but you know, all things. I get to talk about books tonight and drink warm things and my cup matches my outfit.
It sure does. I have one of my owl cups, so that everybody can see how cute it is. This is what it looks like, and it's got a little gold nose. Eyes have gold. It's super cute, but it's a right-handed cup, so I get to see it when I'm drinking it. So, yeah. But I do love to match you with your cup and your shirt. That's perfect.
And I will say this is a Studio 2 ceramics mug. You can have your very own with just about any state off of Etsy. Studio 2 ceramics. They're great. So I love the mug.
And if you don't want to state, I think you got me that gnome one, right? The one that has a little note on it. Yeah. So there's things other than like the states as well. So if you're interested.
I have one with a peacock as well.
Oh yeah, that one's gorgeous actually. That one's super cool.
So yeah. Studio 2 ceramics.
Good to know. A little plug there for your friend.
Yeah. For the 3 people who watch this.
Yeah. Those 3 people are really going to appreciate it. They could get that for Christmas gifts, cool, unique Christmas gifts.
They do make good Christmas gifts. And since Mom watches it, she already has one, I think. So
yeah, I think she does. I think you got.
I'm pretty sure I got her one first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But such is life. So you tell me when to start because I can't see the time.
Okay, I'm at 7:59, so we could probably start any moment. I just are waiting on bated breath. I have no doubt.
No, I know they are. I mean, look.
Yeah.
Nobody.
All of them.
We have come to the realization that we do this because we like to talk to each other, and we might as well record it. And why not? It's fine.
And maybe people watch them on when you put them on YouTube. Who knows? I mean,
you never know. Well, I mean, I do know. I could go look, but I don't want to because then I'll just be sad.
Because it'll be nope. We're right. Nobody watches.
No, we just do this ourselves. But
for sure. It is 8 o'clock now, so we can start.
Perfect. So we are. If nothing else, we are punctual.
Yes.
Sometimes we have to rearrange, but we are punctual. So tonight for our Biblio talk I think this is our second one, just in October.
Yeah, second one in October. Yeah.
We are going to just kind of talk about some of the books that we have just finished reading or are currently reading. Stuff that we're excited about or dislike strongly. Can go both ways.
Either way.
And so, Hattie, I was just going to let you, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Okay. So I will just start with the one that I'm in the midst of because Hannah might actually be reading it as well. It's our book club book. We have book club on Thursday. And this is Susan Hill's Mrs. De Winter. I've only just started it. I'm not very far along yet. We're literally at the same spot almost, Hannah. Wow. Okay.
I'm on page 38.
I am on page 33.
By the way, I read 3 pages while I was sitting here waiting for the time to tick by. Otherwise, I probably was on page
So before those 3 pages, we literally were on the same page. So anyway, this is our book club book. We have book club on Thursday night. And the reason that we chose this book for our book club in October is because 2 years ago, we actually read Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. And this is sort of the follow-up book written by Susan Hill, after, obviously much after Rebecca was written and published.
Like fan fiction. It's like fan fiction.
Yeah, that's a good way of talking about it. So it sort of picks up about 10 years later from where Rebecca ends. But then it's the same characters, right? So far I haven't totally latched onto it yet. I'm gonna say I feel okay, we're a little slow getting there, but
you're at page 38.
Yeah, I know it's only page 38, but I also feel it hasn't hooked me yet. I have to read it for book club, so it's I'm gonna read it. but I don't feel like it's hooked me. Have you felt like it's really hooked onto you yet, Hannah?
It hasn't hooked, but I will say, well, I started it, and I shouldn't have probably started it when I started it. My brain was too scattered. And the way that this is written, which I think is very reminiscent of Rebecca, is very, there's lots of clauses. There's lots and lots of clauses in a sentence, and they're very big sentences. And so, like, there is like a need for your brain to actually be engaged.
Dang it.
But for like the 5 minutes that I was reading here, like I was engaged, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like when I could get there, like but it does require that.
Yeah.
And so
you have to have that focus. Yeah, you have to have that that intellectual input to get through it and actually know kind of what's going on. Yeah, and there's a lot of words. Like there's not much dialogue. It's just like a lot of.
She's just talking. I mean, it's just her inner monologue mostly.
Yeah, it's just like it's kind of dense reading in that sense. It's definitely like her kind of like inner stuff. So that's the one that I'm currently reading. Just obviously started. Yeah, and I figured you would be too. So what are you reading? Anything else like right now, Hannah?
Oh yeah, I have 3 other books that I'm reading right now.
Oh, okay, well why don't you share one?
Because I'm
a crazy person.
The reason I'm pausing is because I'm trying to, I took some notes on the name, on how to pronounce the name. Oh. So I am currently finishing the trilogy, the three body problem trilogy. It's called Death's End is the 3rd one. I think I'm about to put a review out for the 2nd one, which I also enjoyed. And that is a series by Tzu Leo. That's how you say it, ish. Terribly, I'm sure still. But it's Liu is the last name or first name. I think they're different. They're the other way. But anyway, this is a science fiction trilogy by a Chinese author that has been recently, I mean, I think it was published in the early 2000s, but it's been recently translated to English. There's a Netflix series coming. And it is so fascinating, and I am really into it. I have been enjoying his writing style, which is different than what we think of a lot of times when we think about science fiction books. Like they're kind of like blockbuster, big sellers, like all action, almost like an action movie. And this is like old school science fiction where it's really intellectual, but he does this amazing thing where he narrows down so much to each of the characters and like their process and life in the midst of all this huge thing that's happening. And like I can't even understand how he does it, because it's really epic, but it is so narrow on these particular characters, which is how the plot actually moves, is through these individuals, and there's lots of them.
Right.
It's really, I have been very much enjoying it. As I've always said, there are times when the science and the math is just way beyond me.
Sure.
And they'll be talking about like a thing, like whether it was the 3 body problem, or in the 2nd book, it's the dark forest. And I'll be like, okay. Like the metaphor stuff I get, the science and math stuff, I'm a little like, I'm going to trust that I don't actually need to understand it to get the book, and you don't. So, but yeah, I'm really enjoying that series, and I'm glad I'm listening to it. It does help with those denser passages around math and science, but there's not a ton of them, but there are some of them. So I've been really loving that, and I'm excited I'm almost done with. I have like 13 hours left, I think, because I'm listening to that.
Listening to that. Okay, cool. Yeah. Very good. That sounds awesome, actually. And I know George has read the first one. He read the 3 body problem. I think I got it for maybe 2 years ago for his birthday. And I think he liked it. I don't know if he liked it like quite as much, because he didn't ask for like the next 2. So like maybe like 1 was enough for him. I don't know.
Right.
But it's definitely like getting out there. And I think it is because it was recently translated into English. So.
And Lionel's listening to it behind me, and it took us a while, but like, because he really likes science fiction, and he's been reading this whole huge series called Expeditionary Force, but it is very like action packed, very fast paced, and this is very different. It's much more character driven.
Yeah.
Which is, it's not odd, but it's not necessarily what we expect all the time with a science fiction, and particularly a modern science fiction.
Yeah.
So I've really been enjoying it, though.
Yeah,
so
that's great. That's great. Okay, I just want to take a moment because I saw that my friend Jen Parento is here, and I just want to say hi, Jen. I worked with Jen at Synergy in Keene, New Hampshire when I lived there. So I just want to say hi to Jen. I haven't seen Jen in a few years now because I haven't lived there since like 2010, maybe.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Jen. So good. I'm so glad that you're here. Okay, and then I will tell you what I actually just finished reading. This book is called The Last Bookshop in London, and it's by Madeline Martin. And this one was actually, both of my parents read it. Mom and Dad both read it, and Mom, I don't know, I think she texted us or something, and she's like, hey, would either of you two want to, read this book, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, yeah, sure. I think Hannah was like, yeah, sure. And Mom just came and visited, so she brought me the book. Or maybe she mailed it. She might have actually mailed it to me.
I think she mailed you that one.
Yeah, I think she did. Now that I'm thinking about it. But I just finished it, and it was like I just want to like preface this with like I never read World War II historical fiction. Like it is literally the last genre of historical fiction that I will pick up, and mostly I won't ever pick it up. And
except for The Last Train to Istanbul.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. That was World War II.
I'm just giving you a hard time. No, it
was World War II. You're right. And I love that book, and I think it's really, really good.
But it is not it's not the genre of the time period that you like to read.
That I usually read, exactly. And I have read a couple. I mean, I've definitely read a couple. But anyway, this one was actually really good. Not that was a surprise, but it was good in the sense that it was kind of like an easy read. It didn't take a lot of like brain power to sort of like tune into it. It had like good characters that were really likable characters, and it's sort of that story about sort of the human spirit and resiliency, because she lives in London, when London's getting bombed every single day,
right?
And like and living through that and figuring out how to live in that in that kind of a situation. And then of course it's the bookshop is kind of its own little character in the book, which as a person who loves books and bookstores, like
books about books is the best.
I know, right? Like what else would I want to read? So it was really good. I'm really glad that Mom recommended it and then sent it out to me. And I will bring it back for you, Hannah, at Christmas so that you can read it if you want to.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of book exchanges at Christmas this year.
I know, especially as we're driving. When I fly, that helps to mitigate the like number of books that like get there and then the number of books that get back home. But since we're driving,
going to be
the limit. Car is the limit on this.
Car is the limit.
Car is the limit. Yeah.
One, I'll tell you two. These are quick ones. So one of the books I've just started. This is like my book for work, but it's called The Secret Lives of Church Ladies, and it's a work of fiction, short stories, and very much enjoying it. I think I've read 2 so far. I think I'm in like 2. So that's been really good. I've been really enjoying that. And you're going to laugh at me. I am reading The 5 Love Languages of Children.
Oh!
Thank you. So I use this. I use the 5 love languages in my premarital counseling sessions with my couples. And Lena and I were having a conversation about our sons for different reasons. And so we were talking about their love languages, and at this age, all the love languages are important, but making sure kind of how that works. But so I decided to pick up the 5 love languages of for children, and we'll see how that goes. But
yeah, I've never even read the adult book. I've never read it.
That's okay.
I know Hannah's like, okay, not surprised, but like you guys.
Well, and also like why?
Like,
who cares?
Like you and Sarah and Jamie will like sit, like you guys have this whole like conversation about it, and I'm like, I don't know. I never read it.
Well, I know it's not physical touch.
That's true. That's probably true.
But it is it's helpful in really simple language sometimes for couples and in any kind of relationship interaction. So,
Yeah.
But I also wanted to, I wanted two other things I wanted to say. One, I also finished Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher, which I just put the review out, I think, on Saturday. Or was it just yesterday?
Yeah, I think it was. Yep.
But I just want to say how much I enjoyed that book. Like, short, sweet, to the point, but like the greatest characters. Like, I laughed out loud in that book. I mean, it's supposed to be, it's kind of spooky and weird and, you know, atmospheric, but really so enjoyed it. And I just like highly recommend it. I'm actually kind of sad. I think I might have to get that one. I might have to buy that one because I think I would read it again.
Yeah.
And it was a really quick little read. So, and the other thing I wanted to tell you, because we read a lot of books, but I think it's important to remind our followers that our viewer, thank you, Jen, that we don't always finish the books that we start. That things happened, and you're like, oh. So last weekend I had a bit of a binge on romance novels. That's kind of how I read romance novels. I'll read like 3 at a time, and then I'm kind of like done for a while. But after I finished that binge, I picked up this particular book called Plain Bad Heroines. It's from the library.
Yep.
It was on that. I had read a thing about like spooky books to read for October, and but this is about this one.
Ooh.
So I gave it about 150 pages, and I liked it. It's not that it wasn't good, and it's not even that I don't think I might actually give it a go another time. But I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
No.
That was too much of a commitment right now.
It was too much of a book commitment, and for a library book too, because then I have that also. I always feel like, because if I put it on hold, and other people have it on hold, and I need to get it read, and I have that little thing. So, so I did. I'm taking it back to the library tomorrow. But I think it's important to remind people that we don't always finish the books.
That is very true. We do not always finish the book. I was just thinking, what did I start I started something recently, and I read quite a bit of it, and I'm just like, I'm done with this. But now I can't even remember what it was.
Yeah. I know.
I can't remember.
It doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen a ton to me.
Yeah,
but
it does happen though.
Yeah, it does happen, and particularly like those kind of circumstances, like if it's a library book, if it's a really fat book, which is not my like norm.
Yeah.
But and then what else do you have to share?
Oh no, it's fine. Well, you can go ahead if you really wanted to send.
No, mine is the thing about tomorrow, so you go ahead.
Yeah, I'm at this weird place where like I finished like 3 books this week, and I just started one, so like I'm kind of summing up the ones that I finished this week. So another one that I read this week that I found quite like entertaining. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it actually. This one's called Girl Waits with Gun.
Fun. I like that cover.
Stewart, and it's actually a series. It's called A Kopp Sisters Novel. Kopp, Kopp. That's their last name. And there's 3 sisters. And I think this is the first one. At least it introduces them like it's the first one, and I think it is. Girl Waits with Gun, and it takes place in the 19-teens. And it's these 3 sisters who live on their own out in the country, and of course they all have these like super distinct personalities, and the one and in this book they get hit by a car. They're in their horse and buggy, and they get hit by a car, and it turns over their horse and buggy, and the 3 girls are fine, but they want the person driving the car to pay damages.
Right.
So this starts a whole string of events because the guy who's driving the car is this rich silk dye manufacturer guy. But he's like this huge jerk, right? So it just this string of events, and then like them like trying to like get him to pay, and then there's some like crime stuff that happens, and then a couple other side stories that are going on. And then at the end, the main character sort of like becomes this lady detective. Right. And so then that like the series is then going to like move on from there, and she's going to be sort of this lady detective in this. And it's in New Jersey also, by the way. It takes place in New Jersey, which is kind of fun since I literally live like, 3 miles from New Jersey. So anyway, it's sort of like it was kind of fun. There were some moments I'm like, oh man, this is kind of like, it got a little dark because like the things that the guy was doing were like really mean and like scary.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the only dark part of it. Otherwise, it felt like fairly lighthearted, and a kind of a fun read. So I don't know if I'll buy anymore, but I might like get a couple. Bless you. I might like pick. Bless you. I might get something from the library. You know, I might like get one from the library. If I just feel like, you know, something kind of light and easy and kind of fun, you know, lady detective kind of thing before women were detectives. And then she's got these crazy sisters that are always sort of like part of the situation. And we all know about crazy sisters, don't we, Han?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do. It's our cross to bear.
It is indeed.
So, did you have another one that you just finished?
Yeah, I did have one other one that I just
Go ahead.
Okay, this one is called, this is such a weird title. This one is called The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie. And it is by Alan Bradley.
Okay.
And the cover, this is a dead bird. With a stamp. Yes. Okay. This is like the strangest. This happens at the beginning of the book. And it's like, what? There's a dead bird with a stamp? It's like such a randomly weird thing. But this book was super cute. The main protagonist is a lady detective who is 9 years old.
Oh my gosh.
So she's a super precocious little girl who is like totally into science and chemistry. She has like a chemistry lab. So she knows like all of like the jargon of chemistry and the different chemicals and everything. And like, everyone is like, who is this weird little girl? You know, but then like she like spends the whole book like uncovering things, and then she'll like jump to completely wrong conclusions, and she'll have to backtrack. Because she's 9, you know, so she's seeing everything through a 9-year-old's, you know, lens.
Right.
And you're hearing her inner dialogue as a 9-year-old, like trying to sort out the events of what's going on. So it was actually really fun. And the chapters were really short, Hannah. So this was literally, I read a chapter at a time over breakfast. Like this was my breakfast, like
that was your breakfast treat.
Yep. And the chapters were like 10 pages about, you know.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
It was a quick little, and it was just like a fun kind of lighthearted little mystery, sort of murder mystery book. But a 9-year-old little girl was the detective.
That's great. I love that.
It was a fun book. It was a fun book. So yeah. But that's what I finished. And the other one that I am currently listening to is, I'm still in Sherlock Holmes, of course, because it's like 70 hours. Right. But I'm getting close. I think I might finish it this week, actually.
Oh.
But
are you enjoying it?
What was that?
Are you enjoying it? Listening to it?
What kind of question is that? I love it. I literally listen to it anytime that I'm not like doing something else. I'm like sitting there doing my makeup and I'm listening to Sherlock Holmes, you know, curling my hair. Oh, there's Sherlock Holmes. Like I'm not doing anything else. I can listen. So I'm listening to Sherlock Holmes. I love it.
Good. Well, because I just wanted to talk about tomorrow a little bit.
Yes.
About what we're
definitely.
So
yeah.
So for tomorrow, we will be putting out quite a few reels about Halloween reads, specifically things that
Hannah will be putting out the reels. Okay. She said we would be doing that. Technically, they're going on our page, but I just want to make clear to our viewers, I've made a total of 1 reel ever.
And you did a great job.
And it was like, so it was like a C-. It was like a C-. It was passing, but just barely. Hannah is going to put out a whole bunch of really amazing reels tomorrow.
They'll probably be like B. I mean, there's some really good reels out there. People are really good at this. I am not really, really good at this.
You're good.
I'm working on it. So we're going to be putting out some reels. So stay tuned to our Instagram page tomorrow for sure. And one of those, I actually am it's a little preview, a little sneak peek, because I think I've decided I'm going to read it tomorrow for Halloween. And I think this might become my new Halloween read on Halloween because I can finish it in a day.
Yeah.
And Hattie is going to laugh so hard.
What are you reading?
I'm going to read The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is a graphic novel.
And it's so precious. I watched that movie. The music, Hannah, have you seen the movie, Hannah? You've seen the movie, right?
I've seen the movie.
Okay.
I love the movie.
I'm like, this sound, I forget from year to year. I watch it every year at Halloween. But I forget from year to year how amazing the soundtrack is. Also, another thing, did you know that Catherine O'Hara is the girl, is Sally?
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
Catherine O'Hara?
Catherine O'Hara. Look it up. I looked it up because I was just curious. Well, what I was curious about, I'll tell you the story. Sorry, I'm interrupting you totally on this. But you knew I was going to take over as soon as you brought that book up.
I did know.
Yeah. So I watched it earlier this week, and the voice of Jack was like super familiar. And I'm like, I couldn't quite place it. So I look it up on Internet Movie Database. Right. It's Prince Humperdinck.
Oh, it is not.
It is. Danny Elfman sings for Jack. But the actor who plays Prince Humperdinck in Princess Bride is the voice of Jack in the film. And then and then of course I saw it because I was like looking and it was Catherine O'Hara.
That's crazy. That is crazy to me.
Yep.
That's great.
Anyway, okay. That's my sidebar. You can have it back now. Sorry.
But no. I picked this book up at we had a book fair, Scholastic Book Fair, during our kids' conferences, and because I'm me, of course we have to go to the Scholastic Book Fair. But I only came out with one book, which my one book for me. Yeah, more books for one book for me. Yeah. Which is kind of a record, I think. And it was this one though, but I thought it was like such a lovely idea to have it in a graphic novel format.
I feel like I hope you got me one, and or you're gonna get me one the next time you go to one of these things.
I'll just order one the next time I do a Scholastic order, which I do like every 2-3 months when they send the paper home.
Flyers anymore because I like outgrew like great.
I have to tell you, the Scholastic flyers are my favorite thing. Like it's like so great when my kids like leave grade school. I'm gonna cry, but it's fine. But I do think that, but I was like, and this is one of the ones that it goes backward. So like manga. So, so that might,
so cool.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be a fun thing. My one son, Milo, is reading it, so I have to keep his bookmark in here, but
you do.
I was like, you can read that in a sitting. So I think it might be my new Halloween read.
I'm so proud of you, Hannah. I love it. And you know how much I love that story and that film. And I'm sure
and if anybody would like to weigh in on the debate, the never-ending debate of whether Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween or a Christmas story, we would be happy to hear all of those.
I say Halloween. I watch it every year at Halloween, and I love it. It's as a Halloween thing, so.
Yeah. So, I think that's all I had, sis. Okay. How about you? What else you got?
No, that's it. I grabbed those ones. Oh, I will say one thing about a book that I finished recently that there was a lot of chatter about. So I'll just say The Discovery of Witches by, it was Deborah Harkness. I can't believe I remember that, but I did.
Good job.
It was the first book in a trilogy. And I had posted about it a couple times, because it was like a big fat one, and then when I posted the review and everything about it, there was just a lot of chatter about it, and people really love it. They like really love that book. I did not love that book. There were things that I loved about it, but I didn't love the story. I didn't love the characters. I didn't love the book. So I'm like probably not going to read 2 and 3. Plus they were like really like real fat.
Yeah, there's a commitment.
Yeah, it's a major commitment. And I'm like, okay, I don't like these characters that much. Like, I just don't. I thought she did a good job of setting it up for the next one. Like, I am sort of curious about the next book in the sense that, like, I do kind of wonder what's going to happen to these, to these characters. But I don't like them enough to, like.
You can Google that.
Yeah, to finding out what happened.
Yeah. Or wait for the movie.
There you go. Always just, like, wait for the movie.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say, like, I recognize that a lot of people love it, and I actually understand why a lot of people love it. It's very epic in scope. The characters are very complex. I will say that because some of them are like very old, right? So they got a lot of complexity because they're ancient and have lived a long time and so on and so forth. But for me, the sort of the biggest turnoff was like the main two characters who the story's about. Were not likable for me. For you. Not you're kind of likable. Yeah, kind of likable. I've not read it, so I don't know. I'm just saying Hattie doesn't like all characters. That's true. I don't like all characters. And I thought I was going to like her the way she was like set up at the beginning of the book. And I liked her at the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
And then the love interest pops into the picture. And for me, the story went into the toilet. Their story went into the toilet. So I'll just leave it at that. And I'll just say, like, that's why I didn't love it, because I do know a lot of people really, really like it. They read it every year. There's at least one or two people that commented that they read the trilogy every year. But honestly, like, this is what Hannah and I talk about all the time. It's like, everybody likes different stuff, right? Like, different things resonate, different kinds of relationships, different kinds of characters, all that kind of stuff, you know, hits people differently. And so that's why there's like a bazillion different kinds of books out there to read. So, I think I gave it a 4 because there were things that I thought were really, really good about it. And I could really understand why people would really like find it super intriguing.
It's a book you would recommend to the right person.
Yeah.
But it's just not your particular thing.
It's just not. And that's it. You know, and I think that just happens with books, you know. It's like people can just like really, well, I was thinking about like The Historian, right? That Elizabeth Kostova, I think it is. I love that book. Like I love that book.
Well, I think it's gotten a couple comments as well. Other people love that book too. Well, and one, I think it was my friend Lisa said that she had nightmares from it.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I didn't think it was that scary. But I don't know that like we said before, I know we've talked about this, like I'm not really sure what in a book would like.
Yeah, we're in a book. Books don't give me nightmares, but very rarely.
Not like that anyway. But but anyway, I was just gonna say, because you like could appreciate The Historian, but you didn't like love it, right? Like it didn't like resonate with you in the same way that it resonated with me. So that's all I was trying to say about A Discovery of War.
Well, you have the thing with the whole like, you have a real love, and it's one that I don't necessarily understand for like the whole Dracula thing, like that atmosphere. It's like fine, I don't but it in itself is not something that makes me happy. I think maybe that's what I'm trying, you know what I mean? It's kind of like you and post-apocalyptic, right? Like you can appreciate a story, but that environment does not make you happy to be part of that. And I think it's kind of the same way with me in that kind of that Dracula-y sort of stuff. I'm a little like
you're like, okay, whatever.
But when those books are so deeply that, like it's hard, like, oh, it's fine.
All right, it's fine. Great. I'm glad you guys like it. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
There's so many different kinds of books, and that's why we read lots of different stuff.
Yeah, we do. We read a lot of different books. So all I have to say, thank you for joining us, right? Because I think we're good, sis?
Yes, I'm all set. Yep.
And if you see this before or on Halloween, you should just check out our Instagram page throughout the day, because I'll be posting some reels with some recommended reads for the Halloween spirit. So all right. Oh, and our next Biblio talk will be the 15th. What, 6 + 7? 14th?
I think I put it on my calendar, the 13th.
13th. And we're not 100% sure what that's going to look like yet, and it might just be Hattie by herself.
Oh, Hannah's going to ditch me.
It's possible. I have a work thing I have to do, it. We'll see if I can get away for the 30 minutes. I think I can, but we'll see. So, anywho. Anything else, sis?
Nope. I think I am good to go. Yeah.
Oh, like, subscribe. Check us out on our blog. And I think we're gonna be having some really good book lists over the next couple of months as well. So stay tuned for that stuff. And thanks for joining.
Have a good night and have a safe and happy Halloween tomorrow.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Good night, everybody.